Okay, we're back with another video. It's November 1st. We got a cold spell coming in here. So real quickly, I do want to discuss that before I go any further. Tomorrow we're going to have frost. And I can't allow golfers out when there's frost. The reason is just real simply, I've explained this in the past, but if you walk on a frozen grass, it breaks the cell wall of the grass and the grass actually dies. So that's why I can't let you walk it on the greens when there's frost. So just so we're aware and you guys understand, tomorrow there will be a frost delay, and going forward we'll have some of them. I know it's frustrating, but it's to protect the golf course. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to organize playing golf. So we're back on 10 now. Across the street, we pretty much finished what we had to do before the weather came, and we're growing in the plugs on the fairway there. Oh yeah, we have to cut some trees down now, but we're gonna wait till the ground firms up a little bit. We just want to get things growing, and our covers are on over there, and it's already come together pretty nice. The ditch is done, and it worked through the rainstorm, so we're really happy with that. We're back out on 10 now, and we're gonna do a green expansion here. I have pictures in my office from 1964 that showed this whole green used to be this size. It got smaller throughout the years. I don't know why personally. It could be because it was too hard, because I do think once we saw this out, this is going to be a harder green complex. But you have more creativity into the greens, so you could use the back slopes. That's one thing about Tillinghast. On any of his short par fours, which this is considered a short par four, and again, this is why I feel he is genius, and this is also why I feel we have one of the better courses around in the area, that we're starting to see it a little bit more. And these little detail jobs are what enhances the course drastically, and you'll see when the project's done. But the reason he had backstops on his greens was back in the day when they were hitting wedge shots, or they would hit a good shot, they couldn't work the ball as much as they can now. So a good shot to them, which he explains, was almost a hook for the A golfer. So he wanted to reward a good wedge shot into a green by having a backstop, and you can work the ball off the backstop. So he really wanted your wedge shot to be precise, but if you hit a good one, you're rewarded. The other genius thing about him is you can see with this green, for instance, it's got a spine in the middle of it. So if you use the backstop on this side, you could get to this cup right here. But if you hit it in the middle of the green, it could go to the left. Where I'm standing right now is a little bit of a spine. So he talks about in his book, he didn't like punch bowl greens. A punch bowl green would be, no matter where you hit it, it's all gonna funnel down to the same spot. You have to hit a precise wedge shot into this green if you're gonna use the backstops. Over on the left, if you hit that backstop, it'll come down. But anywhere in the middle here, if you hit it one side or the other, it's gonna go to that side. Just little characteristics of this green that is just magnificent. We're gonna try to bring that detail out in it. This will be a much tougher green complex now. We're gonna make the whole, it's definitely gonna be a little bit tougher for everybody. And it's gonna make the people who wanna take a driver out really think about it, because we're gonna expand this approach also and make that more difficult. I'll discuss that a little bit down the road when we get to that part of it. Right now, we just wanna expand the green. We're also gonna tie the green into the tee like we did 13 tee. Again, that's originally how it was, and that's what we'd like to do. We have such a fantastic golf course out here, and I know I keep saying that we want to bring it back to its original, but the forefathers of this club really should be commended, because they never changed anything drastically on the golf course. They understood they had a masterpiece, and we're just trying to bring that back out. So former members that are here or that were here in the past really did an outstanding job of not pulling the trigger on completely changing the design here. I've worked at other clubs where they'll change a hole just because they didn't like it from the original design, In 4 years, they come back and put it back to the original. So because we're staying to the original design, I think we're going to have a fantastic golf course when it's all said and done. And I think you're going to see the results, especially from a project like this. One other thing I want to talk about here too is, I know I've said it in the past with depth perception. Now from the fairway, you'll notice once we expand this green, it's going to look like a longer hole. But we also have, and Tillinghast talks about it in his book again. I reference his book because these are giving us ideas of his thought process when he was building the course and his ideas of a good golf course. Well, there's one story in his book too where when he first worked at Baltusrol, when he first got the job, he went out to the 12th hole and cut a tree down right next to the green. And the reason he cut down was because he was playing in a match back in the early, it was in the teens, and he lost the match because his opponent hit a terrible shot into the green and the ball bounced off a tree and went towards the green, and Tilly lost the hole just because of that tree. So when he designed his courses, he felt that there should be no trees around any greens, and the reason is because you could get a bounce from the tree, but most importantly, what he describes is the mess that the trees leave on the green. So this tree back here, and he also talked about depth perception. So if we're standing here right now, this tree in the back, first of all, it's killing us with sunlight. This is one of our weaker greens that we have. I could go through the whole list of our weaker greens, but since we're here, I'll explain it a little bit. From where I'm standing over to the right, barely gets any sunlight throughout the whole year. And this time of year where it's really detrimental because of the sun angle is more south. So we're not getting any sunlight to this green right now because of the trees on 4, which I was out here the other day and we didn't get any sun onto this green until about 10:30. And also this tree in the back, it's killing us with sunlight and it's hurting the green, the growth of the green. Like I discussed, and I'm going back to those words, you need air movement and sunlight. So the other thing this tree is doing is it's making the hole look smaller than it really is. So I know that at my best I was a 6 handicap, and I always found that I had a harder time playing golf courses that were more wide open because I couldn't visualize the shot. When you have a tree directly behind the green, it makes it easier to hone in onto a landing point so you can aim right at that tree and you're going to hit a better shot. It's just the makeup of your mind. So what we're trying to do is trying to eliminate any of that. So right here, this tree, we're discussing taking it down because of the effect that it has on the green sunlight and your depth perception. If that is removed, you're going to see a better hole number 11, which I'll discuss down the road, because hole number 11 is an excellent hole that you can't really visualize either. But from the fairway, this is going to look like a much longer hole because of that tree being removed. But most importantly, it's affecting the growth of the grass. And that's the trees that I fight for more than anything. I don't get in disagreements with trees with members because I respect you all and you're all obviously successful, smart individuals. So it would just, I've sat in meetings before where the architect or the superintendent just argues and butts heads over trees. And it's counterproductive because you're insulting the member, and that's the last thing I want to do. I would cut quite a few trees down here, but I also understand the politics behind it and why people like trees. So I just go after the ones that are affecting the turf growth for now. As we get the course in better shape, you'll see the results of us cutting trees down. And this is a prime example of why we have to get more sunlight to this green. I hope that works. We're starting to sod this project right now, and we're going to hopefully make some progress today, and you'll start seeing results of it, and it's going to come out great. And the hole's going to play a little bit different. It's probably going to be a little bit more difficult, but it's going to be more fun at the same time. So thanks.